we'll have to open the trunk here, and you'll have to pull out all of the carpet and everything to get access to this panel. So what we're going to do is take these bolts off, and then you're actually going to unplug connectors, and then I'll be able to pull off the fuel lines, and then I'll climb underneath of the car, and there's bolts that hold straps that strap the gas tank up. And then I've already removed the fuel cap, and then down in here, this little plastic cover behind there, that's how you actually remove that's how you loosen the filler cap, and then the tank should, in theory, I guess, drop straight out the bottom. So let's get to that. All right, let's break these free. These are 10 millimeters. Okay. Yeah, it is definitely dirty and gross down in here. Alright, so I'm going to disconnect these two connectors and then these two fuel lines, and we'll be good. Alright, so I pinched this free like this and moved it. It's good. And I loosened this screw here, so that one's good. Now I'm just pushing this back to get this fuel line off. Should pop off here in a second. Try to be careful you don't break things. This stuff's pretty old. This is the fuel return line. There you go. I should be able to push this down. There we go. Now we got it. Well, got a mess on my hands. Now I'll have to clean it up. Here's what I had to do. I got the drain pan out. I had to get up under here and cut this fuel line. I had to get up under here and cut this fuel line. This one that's closer to the driver's side is the feed line, and then this one back here is the return line. So I cut this loose so I could pull it off. I'm replacing them anyway, so it's fine. So what that did was it relieved the remaining amount of fuel that was in the line. So now I can actually get up here. That goes up into the trunk. So now I should be able to actually go in there and pop that hose off and not make a huge mess. Good grief, what a pain in the you know what. Alright, let's go. Should be able to pop this off and not have fuel spilling everywhere now. There. Should have done that the first time, I guess. Alright, so now that's free. I'm going to go underneath the car and actually undo the straps. That way I can lower the tank down. Alright, the first strap is out. Right here, hanging. I'm going to go get that second strap out, which is right there. And then I'm going to lower it down. Hopefully I got it supported with the jack, but it seems like it's actually in place pretty well, so I don't know if I'm gonna have to pull hard on this to get it to come down, but we'll find out here shortly. By the way, it's a 17 millimeter. Having the whole subframe out, giving me all this space, makes this a lot easier. There we go. Man, that's the longest bolt ever. And it's covered in blue Loctite. That's probably why it was hard to get loose. Alright, second strap is out. Feels pretty loose. There's not a whole lot of gas in the tank right now, so that makes it a whole lot lighter. Alright, if you don't have one of these plastic clip puller things, make sure you get one. These things are great. These plastic clips don't have a screw where you can actually kind of back them out, so you need one of these plastic clip pullers. So you get in there and you can you pull the clip out like this and this, and then that should give you access back here. So you're gonna want to remove this bolt right here, and then you can push the whole drain, or you can push the whole filler cap out, and then that brings the whole thing, the whole tank is loose now. So now I should be able to drop it down. Let's go. Checking everything to make sure it's free. Everything looks okay. All right, that's it. Okay, fuel tank is down. Alright, the tank is out, and it is really dirty. I'm gonna get this cleaned up the best that I can and start replacing all these hoses. This hose, and then this hose, and then the hoses that attach that are still here. This one is the evap hose, and then the other two are the feed, and then the other two are feed and return lines. So I will get these all removed and replaced, and try and get the fuel tank cleaned up a little bit before I put it back in. Yeah, I got a lot of work to do. It's really dirty. Let's go. Whoa, it's sloshy. Alright, well here it is out in the driveway. I just vacuumed up all the loose dirt. There's probably about 17 pounds of gravel that was stuck down in this little hole here. But it's all gone now. I'm about to hit it with some degreaser in this brush, and I'll start filming that when I'm done here. Be nice and clean in a few minutes. Alright, I just finished cleaning this thing off. I wish I could describe to you how much nicer this looks. It is so much cleaner. I'm getting ready to replace all these lines right now. Take these all off. Incredible amount of dirt came off of this thing. You can actually see the writing on it. It was completely caked in nasty dirt. Man. Alright, let's get to it then. I'm going to replace these fuel lines now. Alright, so now I'm going to be starting to take these old fuel hoses off and replace them with this fuel hose, which is E85 compatible. It's from Gates Racing, and I believe it is 5/16 or 8 millimeters. So what I'm going to be doing now is pulling these hoses off and then cutting that to length and getting them refitted, and then I'll be going back up underneath the car and cutting new ones so I can replace the lines that came off of the fuel hat. So let's get to it. And by the way, as you're peeling these things off, be really careful, because these plastic nipples, you gotta be really careful with them so you don't break them. Luckily, that came off pretty easy. Now that one is a little bit small. Alright, so that's the right size. Just take this one off here. Alright, so what I'm seeing is it looks like this one is actually a little bit larger than these other ones, so I might have to actually get another piece of hose to replace this one, because this one does not look like it is going to fit. Yeah, let me do some research and I'll catch back up. Alright, I got my caliper out. I am going to do some measurements of these various nipples and see what size fuel line I need to go buy. I went under the car and actually checked the fuel line that I bought the most of will actually fit just fine on these fuel supply and return lines, but it does not fit on the vent lines. So I'll need to take these measurements and then get some of the fuel line that will actually fit these other nipples. Alright, that's 10 millimeters. That is 10 millimeter inner diameter. The smaller one is 6 millimeter inner diameter. 6 millimeter inner diameter. And then the fuel feed and return is 8 millimeter, I believe. Yep, that is 8. So I need 6 and 10 millimeter inner diameter fuel line. Golly day. It's always something, you know what I'm saying? I guess I'll pick this video back up when I get some fuel line. Alright, I got some hose that it's gonna work now. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna line this up and cut it to the same length. And then stick it back down here in this channel. And we should be good. Right there. Just like that. Alright, so I have a whole kit that has a whole bunch of these clamps, and now what I'm going to do is pull off one of the old ones and try to match it up to see if it fits and put a new one on, because these things are pretty crusty. That looks about right. We'll throw this one on, give that a pinch, push this down. Now I got new clamps on both sides. The nice part about this is I'll never have to change these hoses again. There we go. There it is. That's the first hose replaced with new clamps. Looking good. Now we'll redo this. We'll get these all set. This old hose came off. New hose is going on. I've got I got new fuel hoses put in. I got this looped right now so that my garage doesn't stink. But this is all cleaned up. I got new fuel lines coming from the feed and return. They're just hanging out here until I get them mounted back to the fuel hat. I put a piece of tape on the feed line so that way I know which one is the feed line when I go to hook it all back up. And then this line right here is the evap canister. Yeah, so all new lines. I got these replaced up here as well. All these lines are all replaced as well with new clips. Everything is replaced. Now that I got the tank out, I'm going to drain the tank into a 5-gallon bucket. If there's more than 5 gallons of gas in there, I'm going to be screwed, so hopefully there isn't. So basically I've already got this loosened and it's down. And I've got this clip pulled back, so I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to pop that free, and I should be able to just drain the gas directly out of this here and into that 5-gallon bucket that's sitting on its side out there. I've never done this before. Wish me luck. Oh, that looks lovely. Man, that's a whole lot more gas than I thought was in there. That's it. Oh my gosh, 5 gallons. This is gonna make a giant freaking mess when I pour it into the gas tank. Got the tank pushed up under here. I'm getting ready to mount it. But before I do that, I want to get these fuel lines connected back up. And I'll just show you where everything goes. I want to show you this line is the evap line from the I think this is the evap line that comes from the front for the charcoal canister. And then this line gets connected onto this nipple here. And then these other two fuel lines, you have the feed and return line. So the feed line is on the right hand side. The feed line's on the right hand side, and the return line is on the left. And I have the feed line marked with this piece of tape, and that goes on this one. Return line goes on this one. Alright, so I'm going to get these hooked up, then I'm going to get the tank lifted up and put back in the straps, and then I will call it a day on this. Alright, the tank is back in now, mounted. Don't forget to put the filler neck back in, put that screw back on. 1, 2 bolts. There's all the new fuel lines. Everything's hooked back up. This is the fuel hat with everything back into place. Everything looks good here. I'm going to connect these back up and then put that faceplate back on. We'll call it done. Alright, so hopefully this video was helpful for you. These cars are really old now. It's best to just pull that tank out and replace all these old fuel lines, especially if you're starting to run ethanol and various other things. You do it once, you don't have to worry about it again. Thanks for watching. See you next time.